Let me tell you a story of a night I took you on a stroll. You stayed inside, but stoked the fire, pushing my cheeks up toward God. An embrace I played 12 times, bones for a second held by arms instead of shaking, hobbled, broken knees. I counted the seconds between our eyes. I wondered how many times a star could have whirled between them before we looked away, or how many did, or how, at the core, we were born of them, palms spread in full, forcing everything into a passion so many times told of in poems, dreams, and hearts, to sustain a small blue planet where there's been enough time for songs, words, and coffee shops to make sandwiches and ice water when the weather's nice. Hannah, you gave me a moment that stoppered into the second hand of a leather-bound wristwatch, fell out and onto the asphalt, immediately boiled by the heat of the earth. An evaporation of steam-colored pink, still humming shyly the song it learned once and still plays with it in the bath, because shaking marbles and dust out of a tightly wound rope set in our throat makes us feel clean like music and prayer. Hannah, let me tell you this. Poetry is a lost art, found only in the world around us, only born of the sun and the push of blood, only given in through the fingers and out through the mouth. Poetry is the present. It's a time for here, because there and later have their own agenda, and I, for one, only have enough time to spend on one leather-bound wristwatch. It's expensive to see arms spin circles about the axis of a gear. Not just exhausting, but often induces fear if the little clicks pat quietly for too long. No, it's the life found in forgetting these little clicks. It's the life in the sun that poetry comes from. It's life on the beach, from the ocean, sprayed from mountains and dropped on sidewalks. That's the life poetry comes from. I don't find it often on couches, but rather under the cushions. There's a story told by every bed frame that's ever been used at a summer camp, where pretty little girls and tiny little boys use pencils, chalk, knives, or nails to share a tune unstuck from the fibers of their palms. It's their marks, not the manufactured pillows or springs or blankets that make a life worth the sun. It's the blue we forget about in the sky, and how it likes to lounge in the ocean that's worth giving $1 on the street to. It's the gray in the clouds that helps us remember. It's the poems that smile at us when we remember what we dreamed about while our bodies danced between subconsciousness and death. The days that leave us so selfishly, and the months that fall so gratefully at our shoes, begging our forgiveness for all the days it has yet to give and be lost. The reverence in the moment of a pope bowing down to a beggar in the street, washing his bare feet in tears and worn hands. It's not the songs of angels or the tickle of the devil, but the boy that chooses to give love and not make it. It's not the happy couple on the beach, but the fat girl and the ugly boy that share the same choking arteries and sweaty palms. Hannah, poems come from and exist in space, not on paper, patterns, or shapes, not pencils, sugar, or drapes. Poems are you. Poems are me. Poems are simply